And you wonder, how long have these thoughts been running in the background, like an old program, quietly shaping your reality, like a lens distorting what you see, like a whisper guiding choices before you even question them. But now something shifts, because you're aware. And the moment you become aware is the moment change begins. What if the voice that told you it's not good enough was never yours to begin with? What if that old belief, the one that made you hesitate, doubt, freeze, was just a suggestion you once accepted without question? But what happens when you do question it? Because when you step back and really look at it, does it still hold up? Whose standards were you trying to meet? Who decided what was good enough? And why did you ever believe them? Because now you see the truth. The weight you carried, not yours. The fears you felt, not yours. The limits you followed, not yours. And as you let that sink in, something inside you begins to shift. Like a crack in a wall that lets the light pour through. Like a breath you didn't know you were holding, finally released. Because now you choose. And when you choose, everything changes. No longer waiting for approval, no longer hesitating, no longer trapped in an invisible cage built from someone else's fears. Instead you move step by step, small at first, then stronger, faster, freer. Because you see now, perfection, it was never the goal. Approval was never the prize. The only thing that mattered was showing up, again and again and again. And now you wonder, how much more is possible when you stop waiting? How much more could you create when you stop hesitating? How far could you go when you trust yourself fully? Because now you know. Every step counts. Every choice builds momentum. Every action creates the future. And now, as you begin to feel that truth in every part of you, you realize you were never stuck. You were never behind. You're only waiting to wake up. And now you are awake. So what happens next? You might begin to wonder, when did this all begin? This old pattern, this loop, this invisible script running in the background. Was it always there, or was it installed? And if it was installed, who put it there? A voice, not your own. A belief, not yours to keep. A limit that never belonged to you. But for so long you carried it, without questioning, without noticing, until now. Because now you see. And in seeing, something shifts. Because the moment you notice the illusion, it begins to dissolve. So what happens when you no longer accept the limits that were never yours to begin with? Once you thought rules kept you safe. Once you believed control was protection. Once you convinced yourself that shrinking was the only way to avoid pain. But what if that was never true? What if every wall you built to protect yourself became the very thing that trapped you? And what if those rules, those beliefs, served a purpose then? But they've no place now. Because you know something new, don't you? Control. It's not safety. Perfection. It's not freedom. Approval. It's not happiness. And now a question emerges. A question that cannot be ignored. What if you never needed these limits at all? Feel this truth sinking into you now. Deeper than words, deeper than thought. A knowing, a remembering, a return. Because you decide what's possible. You decide what is enough. You choose what matters. And as you feel this truth rising inside you, you begin to wonder. What would happen if you trusted yourself completely? What would happen if every step you took was already enough? What would happen if you no longer waited and simply acted? Feel the weight leaving your body now. The old fears dissolving. The old doubts fading. The old voices growing distant. Until they're no longer more than whispers lost in the mind. Because now you're free. Free to feel. Free to express. Free to move forward without hesitation. And you wonder, with all of this space, this energy, this clarity. What else is possible? Because now you're awake, you're powerful, and you're already more than enough. So what happens next?